to meet me for a little core series or a little ab sequence, we're gonna take our arms into a nice A-frame and walk your feet wide for me. So they're slightly externally rotated, as wide as your mat. You're gonna start to tuck through the tail, rolling up bone by bone into your bridge, and then sink the chest, rolling down back onto your back. So just to help us find some alignment in supine now, and it also serves as a nice massage for all of those back extensors that were just working for us. So enjoy this one for a moment. And lower down. On this next one, you're just gonna hold it up for me. We roll up, getting nice and long at the front of the body. You're gonna dip one hip, press through that heel, lift it back up. Other hip dips and press. So it's a pelvic tilt. You dip, feel how the core and the glute have to work to press the hips back up so that they're in line with one another. And feel how this is a little twist through the core as well. Feels like a twist from the belly button down. In reality, it all comes from the same place, but you can imagine it like from the belly button down. Hip dips, press, heel, lift, engaging glutes. One more each side for me. Last one. And then roll it down. We're gonna find a little dip in the lower back. Adjust if you need. Hugging legs up and in together, and then tapping out wide. Okay, legs hug up and in together, out wide. Feeling that inner thigh connection to the core. So as the inner thighs zip up and in together, it continues all the way up into the core. It's like a zipper running from inside your ankles all the way up to your belly button. Zip up. You can imagine like you've got a corset or a wide belt on the lower abs. It cinches as the legs come together and loosens a bit as they come apart. The belt cinches and then loosens. Last one for me, holding legs together. Feel that inner thigh connection. You're gonna pour your weight over to one side and then pull back using obliques, alternating. Pouring your weight over, legs go over one side. So we're heavy through the backs of the shoulders, and you can think pressing through opposite arm to lift back up. So as my knees go left, I anchor down through my right arm, back of the arm to lift them back. It's gonna get you a little added tricep work there. And of course, it feels pretty easy to go over, and then obliques have to work pretty hard to bring the legs back. We've just got one more each side. Using our breath here, inhale over, exhale back center. We're gonna circle the hands around underneath the nape of the neck. Elbows are in our periphery, so you can see them in the corners of your eyes. And then we're gonna curl up, send the legs out long, and then return. So knees don't go past the hips when you're coming back in. We're maintaining that little dip in the lower back as we curl up. Feeling the core now, right? These crunches have a nice high feel factor. Every time you send the legs out, I want you to think belly button pulls down towards the spine. You can also think belt cinches. Focus in here, feeling upper and lower abs. Give me 2. Last one, holding. You're gonna pull one knee in, twist. Send it out long. Switch. Reverse bicycle. Amazing. Okay, we're maintaining the ab curl. You should be feeling it. Give me 4. And 3. Woo! 2. Core on fire. You can do it. 1. Hugging the legs in. We can rock across the lower back for just a moment. Amazing. Okay, walking the feet down in parallel. We're gonna circle the hands back behind the nape of the neck. All right, elbows are slightly off the floor. You're gonna lift one leg up into this hip fold. You're gonna send them out long, kicking that leg out to the side, hugging back in, and then you're gonna press up into your single leg bridge. You dip down, send it out, hug in, and lift. So here, we're not articulating in the bridge. It's a lift of the ribs and the hips as one unit. Inner thighs, hug in. You press your heel on the mat. If you need more stability, take your arms into an A-frame. Hands are just behind the head because we're gonna transition somewhere. But if you need to take that stability, please use your arms. Okay, the last one. Holding here, just dip and lift, dip and lift. Not tucking the hips under as you lift. They just dip towards the mat, press through heel, feeling that glute. Woo! 2, 1, extending through that lifted leg. You're gonna bend it in, curve it under, dip that hip, and then lift back up into your bridge. So it's like you're threading the needle under and lifting. You're threading under and lifting. You can lightly tap that hip, but I don't want you to really pour weight into it. I want you to keep the weight in your supporting leg to continue the glute burn. Give me 2. Whew. I'm with you. Last one. Okay, now we dip under, rolling all the way onto your side, kick high diagonal, then back into that bridge kick. Big transition. Take it as slow as you need. Back and kick up. Okay, tuck it under, then roll using the core and back and lift. Threading under, we roll, kick side. Be careful not to flare the ribs there. And back. Just 2 more here for me. And then we're gonna hold on your side. Amazing. Last one. We're gonna continue that glute burn of the supporting leg. You can take top arm to mat for more support. You're gonna drop it down low. Kick it front for me, then circle up and around, down by your side. As you do this, let's check in on the lower side waist. So we've got this little lift here, keeping length at both sides of the waist. And I want you to try to keep that lift as we circle the leg up and around. Our tendency is to wanna just collapse in the core. So let's try to hold it here. Let's do 2 more this direction, then we've got to reverse it. This leg should be burning out now. We were getting glute max before, now we're getting side of bum. Let's reverse, we go up and then forward here, sending it back. Okay, so we checked in on lower waist, or bottom side waist. Why don't we check on the lower back? So as we send the leg forward, we're not rounding through lower back. And as we kick it back in line with the body, we're not arching. Everything's stable. It's just the hip and the leg that are moving. And that's the core challenge. Last 2. Woo! Side bum. And 1. Amazing. We can hug it back onto the mat. You're gonna hug the knees in, taking hands behind the quads, finding a little ab curl here. You're gonna start to roll and see if you can catch yourself, find a little balance, rolling like a ball, maintaining this slight C curve shape here. Little spinal massage as well. And a fun transition. Just be careful that we're not rolling onto the neck. It's just onto the upper back. Last 2. And and 1. Coming all the way up. I'm gonna flip around just so you can see me. You can stay where you are. Coming all the way down. We have got the other side. So taking hands behind the head, feet are in line with the hips. Other leg is going to hover this time. You've got a little dip in the lower back. And you're gonna kick nice outside, back in, lift up into that single leg bridge. Out and lift. Maybe you take a peek as you lift into the bridge just to check that the hips are level. Feel that connection in the glute as you press the heel down into the mat to lift the hips. You can also tap into core here as it gets challenging for glutes. Think, how does the core help me lift the hips up? Two, pull in through the inner thighs, lift through the glute. Last one, holding here, you're gonna dip the hip and lift. Single leg bridge. Again, if you need to take the arms into your A-frame for a bit more stability for the first part of this sequence, please do that. More challenging is to have them up here, so you're just using backs of the shoulders to stabilize and the heel, so you have less contact with the floor. Press through glute. All right, last one. You're gonna kick the leg up, bend it back in, thread it under, dip the hip, and reverse. So you dip the hips first, then lift them back parallel. Toe threads under, dip. You have to use the core to help lift that hip back up. Feeling how front of hip is working here as well. Of the leg that's kicking and back of the glutes working on the leg that's on the mat. Last one like this, we're gonna add that transition. So you thread, start to shift over to your side, kick high diagonal for me, reverse that motion, pulling it back in and kick. You can take a first few to kind of find your groove with this, and that's part of the work, right? Is trying to smooth out these transitions and find your form in a very short period of time as you move from one to the next. So think as you come side, ribs are in, you're nice and long from crown of head to toe, like your body's in between two panes of glass. Amazing. Kick and side kick. Continuing the work on the same leg. Last one, thread it under, side kick. Top arm can come to the mat for more support, lifting up through the bottom side waist. Lower through that leg, kick it front, circle up, around and back. Down, kick, up, around and back. So you can always reduce the range of motion on the circle. If it's getting too challenging, and I want you to focus and prioritize most, is your form. So keeping that lift through the bottom side waist, and also a neutral lower back. You can always lay the head down here as well, if it's more comfortable for your neck. Amazing. Let's reverse it. Lift up through side bum, front of hip sends forward, back of the bum sends it back in line with you. Side bum, front of the hip, back of bum and hamstring. All angles here, moving the hip in its full range of motion. Up, side, and back. Two more. Woo. Last one. Dropping it down. Amazing. Coming back onto your back. We're gonna roll like a ball again. You're gonna hug the backs of your legs, coming up into your ab curl. C curve through the back of the spine. You're gonna start to rock, lift up, using the core to balance you there. and try to find an even roll. So you're even on your spine as you roll back. And we're just rolling to the upper back, not onto the neck. And even though we're in the C curve, I want you to try to maintain some length through the spine so we're not just dumping down into a really tight ball. Kind of want you to think, how can I keep my knees away from my chest? Like they're pulling, your chest and your knees are pulling away from each other equally. Last one. Rolling up, balance at the top, and then let it go.